I'm standing in my back garden at 20 Midland Terrace. Behind me, about 10 meters, we are going to have a conveyor belt transporting spoil from the tunnel for about 6 years, and it's going to ruin our lives.
Unfortunately, a few years back, I was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, which essentially meant I had to spend a lot of time in hospital and eventually had to do a transplant, which thankfully went well. Now, if Old Oak Common Lane is closed, that will cause a massive issue for me, because obviously since doing a major surgery like that, I have to go to hospital a lot. There are a lot of complications. There's a lot of care that needs to be done as a follow-up throughout the years. Right now that's quite easy for me considering the closeness of the hospital and the fact that we don't have anything blocking the way. But if we do, that's inevitably going to cause a longer journey, more difficult access to care, and honestly, in case of emergency, it's going to be pretty impossible.
At the beginning of the process, we were told there was going to be a haul road behind my back garden for the lorries to take away the rubble. Recently we've been told that there's going to be a substation, electrical substation parked directly behind my home, and also a flyover for trains.
We are going to be surrounded by all sorts of things that we are not really clear about. First of all, behind us is going to be the main tunnel drive compound and a conveyor belt that's going to be operating at least for 6 years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have no idea what the noise is going to be, what effect on us it's going to be. We haven't been promised any mitigation of any kind at all. So we are really, really worried about it.
Pollution is a very big concern of ours. It's fairly serious at the moment, and just the idea of how much worse it will get over the next 10 years is quite frightening.
I suffer from heart disease and also diabetes too. I've had 2 recent times when I've had to call paramedics, and thankfully they've been here within about 4 minutes, which ain't gonna happen if the Old Oak Common Road closes.
It's going to be horrendous. As an industry professional, I mean, I work in the construction industry, so I fully understand the impact that what's happening here is going to have on this street and this community, and it is going to be absolutely horrendous. On no other major project, and I work on major projects, have I worked where you've got a community living in the middle of a construction site, and that's exactly what you're going to have here.
I moved into my flat about 12 years ago, and the wonderful thing about it is it's the street's on the top of the hill. I'm at the mouth of the street, and I've got a wonderful view right across London. I can see Trellick Tower, I can see the London Eye, I can see the Shard, I can see the Post Office Tower, and everything in between. And the plans I've seen recently show that there are going to be skyscrapers put right outside my window on the other side of the road, completely obscuring that wonderful view, which gives a wonderful sense of freedom up here.
This is Stevenson Street in North Acton. It's only 20 metres from the Willesden Euro Terminal, where High Speed 2 will transfer tunnel waste from the railway it is building 24 hours a day for over 5 years.
The 228 bus helps us, but they're freaking close to the roads. I've no idea how I'm going to manage. I've got the chemist down there and the doctors I have to go to regularly, the dentist, but also we do our shopping down there because there's nowhere else nearer. So without 228 and access to the East Acton, I don't know what we're going to do. We're just going to be, they'll bear thinking about.
In the front of the house, when I look out of my front windows, our little green spaces that we have, which are unusual in Park Royal, are going to be completely obliterated. They're going to be cut down for widening Victoria Road.
I bought a property at auction in September on Wells House Road. I then went about sorting out finance for the property after putting a 10% deposit down at auction, and then it came to the valuation itself. 2 weeks later, my mortgage broker called me and emailed me a copy of the valuation report, which came back as 0 value and 0 rental income. The valuer had actually put on the report that the HS2 tunnel was running directly underneath my property, which once we investigated, which was not the case. In fact, it's running about 100 yards down the road from the property, but he still refused to change the valuation and said no, because of the impact of HS2, that he deemed the property to be zero value.
As to the wall at the back of our property, that is made from clinker, which happens to be the waste product from fireboxes of steam engines. So the wall is old. It stays up, God knows how, but it does. What the hell is going to happen when we start having digging, drilling, all the rest of it? What is going to happen to that wall? It's going to collapse. And when it collapses, so do our gardens, but also it would probably take most of our property with it. It has to be strengthened, and I don't just mean a little brick wall behind it. I mean properly strengthened before any digging, tunnelling, anything is done.
Our local communities will be entirely surrounded and engulfed by HS2 construction and mega work sites for 7 to 10 years. Where else along the entire HS2 line is a community area as badly affected as this? Surely the community deserves to be treated beyond the standard compensation package offered to date.
I cannot believe with the impact of HS2 and then going on thereafter, there will still be this continuation of building works after building works and more disruption without any compensation whatsoever. I never envisaged that I would live in a building site for the rest of my life.
We are really lost, and we need some sort of understanding from somebody. We need help, we need some mitigation. Please.